Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here today, my name is Odds, and we are going to be discussing some spooky northeastern tour stuff, some cities to visit. I'm going to be comparing Sleepy Hollow and Salem. If you don't know, Sleepy Hollow is in New York. I wouldn't say it's really upstate. It's past Westchester, but it's not upstate. It's about hour and a half from the city, and then Salem, Massachusetts. So I thought it would be fun to do this video, even though I no longer live in the Northeast, so none of these are like close to get to, but I thought it would be fun if you do live in the area. It would be cool, or if either of these two places are on your destination list. I know Salem is on a lot of people's top destination lists if they're really into spooky stuff. So I have been twice, and I've been to Sleepy Hollow once. So I'm going to compare the two and let you know kind of what there is to do in each place, which one I would prefer, and what's best on a normal time and what's best for during Halloween time. If you're new here today, I would love for you to subscribe. I do 2 videos a week, beauty, vlogs, Star Wars, Marvel, DC. There's something on this channel for everyone, so be sure to subscribe. And if you like this video while you're watching, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. It would really help me out on this channel. So first, let's talk Sleepy Hollow. So Sleepy Hollow is famous for the story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which is the Headless Horseman story written by Washington Irving. Washington Irving did live in Sleepy Hollow. He is buried there as well. That's going to be the first thing on the to-do list in Sleepy Hollow, is visit the cemetery. Now, there are some pretty famous people buried there, including Washington Irving. Also, you have Andrew Carnegie is buried up there. Some of the Rockefellers are buried up there. Not the most famous Rockefeller, but some of the family is buried up there. It was kind of a decent place to live outside of the city back in the day. So I'm not saying it's not a good place to live now. It's very small town. So it very much feels like a small town. It has like a very small downtown Main Street, like any small town you've ever been to, and it's very similar to most northeastern small towns. If you've been to any northeastern small town, the downtown is going to look the same. The difference is the cemetery and then the spooky activities they have during the year. Now, there are a lot of activities to do around Halloween time in Sleepy Hollow. When I went, I did not realize that you had to book all of them in advance. So if you're planning to go to Sleepy Hollow, you're going to need to book in advance if you want to do anything kind of cool. We were able to get into the cemetery tour kind of last minute, and you hold your own lanterns. It is really cool. So there is that. We did go. It was pretty cold. That is going to be the factor for both places I'm going to talk about. If you go during this time of year, it's going to be kind of cold. Usually it's kind of wet and rainy. That is just the Northeast in October. September, if you go sometime this month, it might be a little bit less cool. It hasn't cooled down yet. And global warming, it's getting real toasty. It was 90 degrees here in Atlanta today. So as I did mention, Sleepy Hollow is through Tarrytown, the Tarrytown stop on the Metro North. So you can hop on the Metro North in the city. There's a couple stops, whatever's closest to you. Typically, we would go through Grand Central. You could also go through the 125th Street, which I would never really recommend anybody go to that stop unless it's like necessary for you, because it's Sketch City. Or you could go through by Yankee Stadium. There's also a stop there. So but just look at the train schedules, get to know that sort of thing. I will let you know Metro North can be a little expensive, so definitely plan for that. and plan to spend money because you're gonna have to spend money to do all the events. So some of the events that they had going on, they do have the Headless Horseman walk around the cemetery during the day. I believe this is on Saturdays only, so if you go on a Saturday, you might see the Headless Horseman walking around. Really cool to see. Very similar to like the Headless Horseman you'll see at Disney. It's going to be very similar, but you're in Sleepy Hollow, so that makes it really, really cool. They also have a haunted hayride, which the Headless Horseman is also there. So you go on a hayride down, and then you get chased by the Headless Horseman. So that is pretty cool. And then they have a haunted manor set up, so basically a haunted house. There's only one, so it's not like a big Fright Fest event like you would find at like Six Flags or Universal Studios, but they do have a haunted house that is set up. So they have that. They also have like pumpkin patches and food and lots of stuff. I didn't really notice much to eat when we went, but I know like during the day they have festivals, so they have that. They also do have the, they read the story of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow in one of the churches. So that's really cool. It's a very historic city, as is Salem. We're going to talk about in a second. I really enjoyed it. I went in 2018, I believe. I can pop up a picture when we went. Again, it was very cold when we went, so just keep in mind and make sure to purchase stuff in advance if you're planning to go to Sleepy Hollow. Now, let's switch gears and talk about Salem. So, Salem is about, I believe, 2-ish hours outside of Boston. This I don't know or don't believe is accessible via a train. I could be wrong. Every time I went, I drove, so it wasn't something like I knew if it was accessible by train. Now, you are going to love Salem, Massachusetts if you're a fan of history of the Salem witch trials, if you are a fan of Arthur Miller's The Crucible. Now, I knew most of this from The Crucible, so you get to see kind of the real history of it, but also there's a lot of fun stuff to do. Salem has a lot more restaurants and shops than Sleepy Hollow, whereas Sleepy Hollow is definitely a really small town. Salem is like a little city, so it has more things to do, I would say, other than just like Halloween festivities. So Salem you could really go to any time of the year. I've been to a coffee shop. There's a really cool like little hippie jewelry store and like boutiques. There's a couple of museums. There's like the Welcome Center that has some stuff about like the Revolutionary War and lots of stuff like that that is usually not really what Salem is known for. So there's a lot of other history that's there. And then the big draws, I would say, to Salem are going to be the cemetery and the Salem Witch Museum. So Halloween-wise, there are a lot less things to do in Salem than there are to do in Sleepy Hollow, but if you go during an off-peak time of the year, I would say Salem is kind of the place to go versus Sleepy Hollow. So it's kind of like one or the other, like what time you're going really affects which one I would recommend going to at both times. So the Witch Museum is really cool. It shows pretty much, it tells the tale of the Salem witch trials. And there's these big statues that light up when each scene is taking place. So you sit in a big audience like room and it's a 360 thing. And then after that, you will then go into like the museum part where they tell you more about witches, how they are portrayed in media, and what witches are like now. So Salem has a very big Wicca community, probably because of the witch trials they block there. Not really going to give my opinion on Wiccans. in this video, but just be aware that there are witches that do live in Salem. They're practicing Wiccans. So just to be aware, that is something to be considered. There are actual witch shops, and they're gonna have like things that witches use. Not like tarot and candles and stuff like that, but like rabbit's feet and different stuff like that. So we went into a place once and not really expecting that, but that is what's there. The other thing is the cemetery, very, very small, but it has the victims of the witch trials. So like very famous people that were actually sentenced to death and like in the crucible, they're there. So really, really cool to see that. So as I briefly mentioned, that's what I would say is really in Salem. I went twice because I went the first time because I wanted to go. My brother used to live in Boston, and then my other brother came to visit as well, so we went up there because he had never been. So ultimately, if you're looking for somewhere spooky to go for the Halloween season, I would definitely recommend Sleepy Hollow over Salem. That being said, if you live in Boston, go to Salem. If you live in New York, go to Sleepy Hollow. I don't think leaving to go to either or would be really beneficial. Maybe if you're going to New York in October and then you want to do a little travel outside of the city, then I would recommend going to Sleepy Hollow. It's definitely worth a day trip out there, but it's not worth, neither are worth multiple days. I would say they're both day trips, so just a little spooky day trip for you. Just keep in mind that you're going to be coming home really late on a train or really late in a car if you're going to Salem. So yeah, so I would recommend Sleepy Hollow over Salem during the Halloween season, but on off season, I would recommend Salem over Sleepy Hollow. So yeah, hope you are having a wonderful day. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like more videos like this comparing cities, let me know. I know this is something a little bit different on my channel, so let me know if you like it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on Thursday with my She-Hulk episode 4 breakdown. Bye!